everybody. How are we? How exciting.
It's so wonderful to see you all. We cannot wait for tonight's show. We have so much going on tonight. We have the amazing Miss Moisty coming on board to talk to us all.
Huge fan.
And thank you everyone who's coming on and joining us tonight. We've got some fun things to talk about. We are going to talk about sexual etiquette, which we're going to get into more in just a moment. So should we get the show started?
I think we should.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much to our very first online broadcasting show.
Yeah, and we're doing it on 2 platforms. So We're doing it on Facebook and YouTube. Also, just for anyone who's watching on Facebook, just so that you know, you're about 30 seconds behind us. But on YouTube, you're only about 5 to 8 seconds behind us. So if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty,
closer to us,
you want to get all up into our business,
closer to our behinds,
then go over.
You want to jump onto the tubes, baby.
And you will see it on our Facebook page. It'll be down there.
Yeah,
you can jump on that link anytime.
Yeah. Also, if you want, our Instagram has the link. So if you want to go onto our Instagram handle, if that's easier, you can just press the link and it'll take you straight onto YouTube. So
fantastic. And so tonight it's still our Good Time Girl Chats. We still have a bit of a chat about all sorts of things. Tonight we're talking about, let's talk about sexual manners, baby. Jane, do you want to tell them a little bit about what that
I have a lot of manners. Do I know what that means? Yes, I do know what it means. I guess we're going to discuss just experiences that we've had, and we'd also love to hear from you all during the show. So if we're talking, we really want to talk to you all. So please, if there's something that we're saying or if you want to contribute, we really want to chat to you directly. So we'll see your messages pop up, and let's have a girl chat.
Exactly, a good time chat with all of our gal pals. So we will see. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, we'll still see your comments, and we would love to chat more. So tonight we're going to be talking about BDSM, kink, communication. One very important one, I think, is how to be a good dom.
Yeah,
I think that's really
and also the difference between wanting to do kink or dom and having fucking issues. Having power issues because you need to go see someone. So that is pretty important, because I feel like, for me personally, my experience with the kink scene was that a lot of people said that they were into kink, but they weren't really. They were into just bad communication. They just wanted to do some shit and get away with it. And that's not what you do in the kink scene. That it's supposed to be a lot of love, a lot of trust, a lot of communication. It's one of the most beautiful relationships you can have with someone. So to then flip it to something so meaningless is really dangerous.
And on that, we'll also be talking about how to resetting boundaries.
Yes.
I know that I have, Jane has, and I know probably a lot of you out there have also experienced this, where you have gone past your boundary and then it's just about finding how to reclaim that space and still be able to enjoy.
But also your boundaries change.
Absolutely.
I definitely, wouldn't do some things that I would have done before, and I would do things now that I wouldn't have done. I feel different. My body's different. So, and that's okay. That's actually okay to be yes, that was something that I wanted, but now this is what I'm evolving into. And there doesn't need, you shouldn't owe anyone any more explanation than that. It should be that simple, really. But yeah.
So definitely tell us, let us know that any questions. We'd love to hear from you. Any experiences, just sound off in those comments, and we will listen, and we'll be able to talk about that, because the show isn't just about us, it's about all of you, and we'd really love to chat more about it. But Jane, you've got a little treat for us tonight, haven't you?
Oh my God, I do. Oh, okay. So I'm really excited that you're all online to watch our very first show. Last year, I was very honored to meet an incredible artist, Angelique Joy. So they're an incredible artist, and I was extremely lucky to be able to collaborate with them on just a moment that I had to navigate through. I'll let you watch it, and then I'd love to discuss it. And I would really love to hear your comments on them and what you thought about the piece. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
We're back. I was just checking my phone.
I was like, I look professional.
I'm glad I took my tracksuit pants off after all, right? I was totally going to wear them. So that was really beautiful.
Thank
was
you.
a really beautiful piece created between yourself and Angelique Joy.
Yes. So Angelique Joy was the artist that I was able to work on with this piece. So it was just a piece about just not having losing your boundaries and feeling like you can't move and you can't breathe and there's no air and just going through some moments of things that I'd been through. So I'm pretty sure you can read through that whole piece and what it meant. But it's actually funny watching that back because I haven't watched that since. And I remember doing the bit where I screamed and I kind of cry a bit. And that bit was really therapeutic for me because I didn't get to say that and I didn't get to feel that. So being able to do that, I was asked to kind of go to a space and I hadn't dealt with any of that. So I actually dealt with that like right then and there. So it was actually really awkward, but really good because I had to stand there. I think it was for like 20 to 30 minutes, just still not moving. And then I had to get really emotional about particular things. And that was a really interesting journey to go through. So watching that again, I can actually feel that all over again. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
thank you, DJ Honey.
Oh, DJ Honey.
DJ Honey is actually an amazing DJ. Please check her out on Instagram. Incredible. Yeah. We lost her to Singapore, so hopefully we see her again in Melbourne.
Yes, it would be great. It would be great. DJ Honey, it's been so wonderful to see you in the show every week as well.
Thank you so much.
It's been really good. Talking about those emotions that you're experiencing through that, should we delve into some kink and talk about the emotions that kink can bring up in people? We were talking about, earlier today we were talking about being a baby kinkster and how that can be really a beautiful experience or it can be quite a damaging experience. Do you have any advice for
new kinks?
For new baby kinks?
I actually had a really bad experience getting into kink actually. So I went to like a kink party and the communication lines were not clear, like as in when I say they weren't clear, he lied. That's what I was trying to say. And so what I learned with that situation was that a lot of cishet men mainly like to say that they're interested in kink and that sort of thing, but it's actually they have issues that they need to work through mentally, and they think that they're just into kink and it's really not. They're just trying to like serve some trauma that they're going through. So I feel like it's really important that you are very aware of what you want and stick to some guidelines when you first start going out. I remember the first time I did it, I remember going, I'm just going to go to watch. And then I would like to sit down with my feelings and figure out what I would like to do from there. Because you can move up from that. You can't go back from, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's, really, really important to kind of take baby steps. Like it is exciting and, your blood is rushing to places, but you do really need to understand that, you know, these relationships take a lot of work, and you are very important. So you do have to honor like yourself in that process. So as much as it can be hard to peel back, you know, it is definitely a smarter idea to just take baby steps, because you can end up in some fucked up situations.
Yeah, I found for myself, one of my biggest challenges that I've had to teach myself over the years is that I have this inbuilt thing where I want to please people, and where I want to feel like and seem like I know what's going on, even if I'm fresh into something. So that at times was something that can be a dangerous experience as well, like moving into kink and like not being honest with people about how much experience that I've had.
Do you think you crossed your own boundaries because of that?
Yeah, I think I did. I think because I wanted to seem like I knew everything.
But that's like a shame thing as well. Like, it's okay to still be on your journey. Yeah,
definitely. If anyone else has any experiences, please do let us know, because this is what this show is about. It's about chatting and talking. So we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you all. And I think that's the thing which we just touched on as well, was communication.
Ali! I love Ali. Ali's the best.
Here we are. I love it.
So we're new to this. This is like we're just working it all out. How amazing is this little like software thing that we've got?
I love it.
Absolutely, Ali. Yes, and that's the beautiful thing about kink. It's a beautiful relationship. And yes, Ali, you're amazing too. But that's, you know, someone asked me why I like kink, and I like kink because it's a relationship that you can get with someone. You know, that kind of communication and the care and the love that you give to someone in that moment. That's huge. You know.
And it's also something that, I mean, these worlds do cross, but then don't always, is polyamory.
Yeah.
That there is so much trust that is needed to have multiple partners.
Yeah.
And
a lot of work.
And there's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm so lazy.
It's a lot of work. But also understanding that everyone else has their boundaries and expectations.
Absolutely.
And there is also that cis het male predatory experience as well. There were times where when I was first exploring polyamory, that I would be at I'd be at an event with my partner, and I remember one particular time, and I'd got myself all like dressed up all cute, and I was feeling really cute, and but it was still. The particular one I went to wasn't necessarily overly queer friendly. It wasn't anti-queer. It was just that
very
space
beige.
Was very beige. Very beige.
Yeah.
And at one point, my partner went to the bathroom, and when he came back, he couldn't get back fast enough, because there was all of a sudden there were 3 men just standing around me and being very in my space.
Very alpha.
Yeah, and also just being very sleazy.
I hate that shit.
And it's like, I've just met you. And I'm not vibing you.
Yeah, and I don't want this to happen anymore. Whatever you want it to happen, I don't think this was the outcome.
This is not it.
I want out.
Can I leave now?
Yeah. How many times have we all been in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
What else were we going to talk about? What is the time actually? How are we going for time?
We're going good. We're actually going quite well today. Back to F up. I love that.
See how awesome Ellie is. Actually, this is a good segue into it's not. We don't owe anyone anything.
Absolutely.
I've been learning that one like from last year to now, and saying no and just being like, this is how I feel, and I get that you have feelings too, but I don't need to navigate through them because I'm going through mine. And also, what was I saying? A situation that is about my body should never be about you, and I shouldn't have to navigate on top of that your stuff, because
you shouldn't have to be doing the emotional labor.
Yeah.
Of
I find that one happens a lot.
Definitely. Oh,
the counterpart.
Oh, yay! So good to see.
That's great. I could be that new person. What is it? The Ring? Is it The Ring? The Call? I don't know.
I don't know.
You know the one with the face?
No. I don't know. I don't know this movie. I'm sorry.
The Counterpart. It's so good to see you. No, you're not gonna die. I promise. From that video.
No. It is very David Lynch, though.
It is very David Lynch. Yeah.
I love it. It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we should get Moisty.
I do too. I was just thinking that.
Is it time? Yep, there.
Can I just say how much I love this performer? I have had a crush on them since I met them. I got the absolute pleasure of meeting them at Miss Burlesque South Australia. And they blew me away. They are so intelligent, so gorgeous, a heart of gold, and their politics is just
Moisty for PM.
Yeah. So I love the fuck out of this person.
Fantastic.
Oh, Amy,
we've got a great question. I think we can probably talk to.
Yeah, we'll grab Moisty on.
We'll grab Moisty, and then we'll talk about Amy's question.
Yeah.
Hi.
Moisty. Do you all understand why I'm a big fan of Moisty? So this is a political pinup and internet thought.
I'm all about that life. I
love the choker, babe.
It's choker night, actually.
Yeah, it is choker night.
Actually, while we think about this, one thing that we have been meant to say the whole show is that we actually have a tipping service. If you would like to tip us, you can go to thefeministsocial.com and click on tip Daddy.
Oh, Moisty, I love you.
And any funds raised tonight will go towards everyone who's been participating in the show. And it also helps us to keep this content going, because this
content needs to be said. Yeah. I feel like I'm wearing too many clothes, to be honest.
I am. It's cold here. I've got the UGG boots on the bottom as well.
Oh, that's so hot. Oh.
Yeah. We were going to wear our tracksuit pants.
I know.
In the last minute.
You can kind of play it on. I actually have quite a funny story about kink and Adelaide. I have got myself alienated from the kink scene in Adelaide.
I saw all of that, and you are fucking awesome for that.
Well, I think it's one section. So if there is anyone in Adelaide who is in the kink scene and not involved with the certain person who likes to dress up in KKK propaganda, slide into my DM, because I would like to be involved with the kink scene in Adelaide, and I'd like to build a kink scene in Adelaide which isn't involved with someone so predatory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
And the way they palmed it off that it was just a costume was awful. It's really nice to have people go, this is not okay.
It's not.
It's ignorant to stand by and watch, and I've been explaining that to people these days. Just to say I stayed out of it, I didn't do anything though, it doesn't mean it's okay to just let it happen anymore. No. It's just fucking not.
No, it's not. And I think what we're seeing now is the world, it's 2020, we need to stop tolerating racism, and we need to stop tolerating it on these micro levels. I mean, to me, wearing a KKK outfit, even as a joke, is a pretty extreme racist statement. But, these sort of micro level racist aggressions, we need to stop and just call them out, because that's how you end up with things like, fuck, what's happening in America right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
And it's not that costume is never sexy.
No.
I know, who wants that in a kink? I'm just if that's your kink, I don't. I know we just talked about not shaming kink, but
there's nothing subversive about a cis white man dressing up in a costume which is emblematic emblematic of the power of cis white men. Like,
absolutely,
come on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, I guess, and especially being in a kink scene, that's like, you know, even worse.
We've actually got an interesting question from Amy.
Yeah.
Which I think Moisty could talk about as well with us. The whole notion about taking one for the team.
Yeah, that's a interesting one. Yeah, I mean, could it be, is it like a couples thing that you need to do together, or could you get a singular person in first of all, or be involved, you know?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, you'd want to talk about those sort of different narratives and see, you know, what one feels right for you, because everyone's different. Like, that situation would be different handled by different couples. So there's definitely no right or wrong with that.
There's never going to be one perfect unicorn, like, you know, that fits in perfectly. There's always going to be. I mean,
Prince is like, I mean.
Well, he would be my unicorn.
Yeah, Prince is the unicorn. So I just wanted to.
I don't know, maybe Gillian Anderson.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Just, you know.
And Moisty.
I'm Moisty.
Oh. No, don't take me. I'm terrible. I never do the dishes. Just ask my housemates. I'm the worst.
I would definitely do the dishes for you.
Oh, bless you. You can move in. I've got a pool.
Oh, I think I just won.
Yeah. I'm not married yet, so.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed.
What? So, what are we going to talk about? So, Moisty, sexual etiquette. Can you talk to us about what is important about sexual etiquette and good sexual manners for you, and what that even looks like to you?
Oh, so I mean, consent is the first word that comes to my mind.
Yeah,
but definitely education. So, with backstory, I was raised very strict Catholic. I was sent to Catholic schools. My sex education didn't happen until I was sitting on a dick, really. And it's not a good time to learn that. But I think
a crash course.
You know, it's like learning to ride a bike, really. I think that it's like you just need to conversations, you know, consent, having this like openness with your partners and being able to, explore things together or explore things within yourself without shame, without bias, you know.
Yeah.
And being
I think that one's a really difficult one though, because we were chatting about this before the show started, and it's like lots of people want to shame the exploration, like even having the conversation, and that can be really dangerous. And it's like sometimes you have to pull back, even having the conversation of exploring, to then go, hang on, you cannot sit there and kind of shame wanting to have this conversation about what I like. I do find that one quite an issue.
Yeah, I think that the main issue is there's so much shame and there's not openness about where we are sexually. And because we've closed off and sex has always been the realm of the private, you know, it's this thing that we're supposed to naturally know how to do and naturally know what we like, and we don't have conversation, we don't explore. And the shame comes in a cycle, like it comes from two sides as well, because it's like you want to be open. I recently experienced some things where like someone has come out about something they're into and they're quite open about it, and they're shaming their partner for not wanting to explore those things as well. So I think something is like acknowledging boundaries, you know, not shaming people for acknowledging their own boundaries. And also there's this huge expectation within relationships that sex is something that comes naturally, and it's like you were sexually attracted to your partner and only your partner. It's very like toxic monogamy. You're sexually attracted to your partner, only your partner, you're sexually compatible, that's it, you're done, you're set. And it's not that simple, you know.
Yeah. And then you can't have feelings for anyone else. You can't like another being, like that's a lot of pressure. That's ridiculous. It's too much. Yeah. That's where all the problems start though. You're not like giving yourself any like room to like be you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we need a lot more sexual freedom in this world. And a lot more conversations about consent. Consent is where it's at. Straight up, I feel like even in 2020, a lot of people don't understand what consent means.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think though, like I've been looking into this a lot, like I've been looking at porn and how, mainstream porn is set up. It's just like a really nasty cycle, like how many women think that that's what they need to act like that porn star.
And they need to enjoy it.
Yeah. And it's just like they don't talk about anything that happens before or after these people that work on these spaces that are not taken care of as well, actually. So that there's so many issues with that, because then that becomes this normalcy for both sides, for all genders, like,
Porn is it can be really good and it can be really harmful. So on one side, there's really quite some exploratory feminist porn. It's women can see their bodies, they can explore their bodies, they can see other women's bodies, they can understand their bodies better. And it can be a space for women to express themselves sexually in a public domain. And then the second, the mainstream sort of pornification of culture, where it's very much through a male gaze. It's very much through the way that men view women's bodies, and it's and then you do have that sort of like idea of how women act and how we should react in porn. I'm like, don't spit on your dick and stick it in my ass. Lubricant is a thing.
Yes.
Like, honestly, straight men, do they not understand what lube is?
Yeah, they get really offended when you want to do the lube thing.
Oh, totally.
What's with that? They do. It's just like, it's all good. Like, it's just not going to work out well if we don't. That's
and also finding the lube that you like.
Yeah.
Because I've got a particular one, Uber Lube, if anyone is looking for one.
Oh, I love Uber Lube.
Oh, how good is it? Yeah.
I don't know that one.
So good, yeah.
It comes in a really cute recyclable glass bottle, and there's like a little travel one. I've got it in my handbag. I'll show you off.
Yeah, definitely want to look at that.
Okay.
Frenchie! I love Frenchie so much. Sorry.
Yes.
Mainstream porn.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah. I actually watched a really interesting documentary called Circle. I think it's called The Circus of Life. No, something like that. It's about a gay bookstore that had like a porn like section in the back, and how it was more about the family. Because the family were like a good Jewish family, and so they were living this kind of like double life. But it was really interesting. Exactly. It was really interesting how they were talking about how once the internet came and became like Pornhub became this huge thing, that the quality of porn and the way people were being treated became less safe.
Yeah.
And that's one particular type of porn, but I expect that that would be the same through like hetero and other types of queer porn as well.
The problem is like the kind of porn I watch, and I imagine we all watch, is not the stuff that's readily available. That's the issue. You do have to pay for the sites that I know that that are available, that are really well done and respectable and beautiful.
Oh, it's also paying for porn anyway. Like, we should all be paying for porn anyway.
And that's it. That's it. Yeah.
But I think like delving deeper, I think it's when we demonize an industry like anything in the sex industry and be like, oh, this is detrimental, it's very easy to jump on that and demonize the whole industry in itself. I think it's kind of the capitalization and the industrialization of porn. You still have those indie, thank God we have OnlyFans because it's paying.
I know. Yeah. Oh, OnlyFans is so good, so good.
But like you have those kind of, they want to create an industry that makes money, and so it's going to be on the exploitation of the workers.
I'm really glad there's OnlyFans for that reason. Hot Girls Wanted. That is such a great doco.
I love Rashida Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep going back to the same thing, and it's capitalism is the problem. It's always capitalism.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And it's not working for us now either.
I
personally want us to fix it though.
Elon Musk. I'm going to eat him.
It'd be very tasty. I've been eating a lot of like healthy vegan food right now. So it's full of vegetables, full of nutrition.
Because you can afford vegetables.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he can afford it. Hey, I wanted to actually ask you, going back to that kink, that KKK dude, did anything happen with that? Like,
his show, as in like ramifications for
I
him.
remember that. Yeah, I remember everyone signed a petition, and his show got cancelled from Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know, is he doing anything in the kink scene at the moment? Like, obviously not now, but like.
I believe he is still running. He has quite a few followers and this sort of like clan of people, excuse my language, that do follow him and support him, and I'm not a racist, it's just a joke. So I believe they are still running, but I'm on the mission. He will not be running anything while I'm in Adelaide. He will not be any festivals, any state, anything. I will make it my mission to make sure he is shut down. And I hope that the last I heard, his venue, we're thinking about pulling the plug on him. He'll always find another venue, but you can just keep knocking him down.
Yeah.
And I guess also keep being vocal about it so that other people don't fall into the trap of getting into that circle as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. The more visible you make the evidence, and you can't hide the evidence. He's walking around the streets of Adelaide in a Clans outfit, you know?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And actually it reminds me of another. It wasn't in the kink scene, but it was a performer who had, I'm not going to say their name, but they had been accused of rape and sexual abuse.
Oh yeah.
And they don't live here, but they made the attempt to come back a couple of years ago. And I woke up one day and saw that they had a Fringe show and was very angry about it. I was even more angry at the fact that there were people that were facilitating that. But there were a couple of other people who were also equally pissed, and together
shut it down
like in a day. And
that shit down.
Yeah, and I don't care about the fact if people are like, oh, but he's grown, he's a different person now. It's like you've still caused that trauma to some friends of mine, and
it's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. You lost, as far as I'm concerned, you've lost your privilege to work in this industry.
Yeah,
in Australia.
Yeah,
and I don't want you here.
But see, but the thing is, as well, is you have the right to your own choices, but we have the right to not forgive you as well.
Exactly.
So.
And why is the people surrounding them that is making the apology for it? And it's quite often women that are surrounding them making the apologies. Yeah. But the person, they need to own up. They need to, they need to admit their mistakes, and they need to take some accountability. Hi,
Whiskey. So good to see you, Whiskey.
I'm waiting for the incel convention tonight. When's it happening? I dressed especially for them. The incels.
I know, they haven't come. Maybe they don't realise that we're on.
I know, I wore all the things they were calling us.
Yes, I love it.
I just wore something really slutty.
But
if anyone wants to tip us, by all means.
Yes. Tip us.
1 2.
Wait, 2 there. They look great. They look very nice.
They've dropped in real well.
Hey, how are you finding like your OnlyFans? Are you finding like your customers really like lovely? Like, do you get to speak to them? Like, how are they?
Yeah, I have really nice customers. Like, it's interesting that because someone asked me, do men say really awful things to you on the internet because it's anonymous? And all my OnlyFans are really nice. Like,
yeah, great.
Yeah, I think that because you have to sit down and type it and it's visible in front of you, I've had less things said to me on there than I had in person.
Yeah.
But everyone's really great. It really chilled out, really nice. So I'm enjoying the experience. I know there has been some problems. I've caught wind of some OnlyFans deleting sex workers account, which is really quite troubling because, again,
are they finding out that they're sex workers?
I believe because of foster and SESTA, there is a loophole that if they can find out that you're a sex worker or if there's evidence there to cover themselves, they have to delete your account.
Wow.
Yeah, because they can be liable to trafficking and they can be liable to the legalities of those movements, which, those bills really changed the internet forever for us.
Yeah. And it reaches so much further than America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the reality is it's, you can't, stopping sex work isn't going to stop trafficking. You need to decriminalize it. You need to help support sex workers because we are your number one tool in stopping trafficking. We can help more than anyone else can.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, if sex workers aren't silenced, then they can speak without fear as well.
Absolutely.
They can help to educate new people coming into sex work and to be able to flag what trafficking looks like to them.
We're the frontline workers. We're essential.
It's almost like one of the very few industries where the people who work in the industry aren't recognized as experts.
Yeah.
But that we're not even recognized as an actual job.
We're not people.
Yeah, well, and that's it. We're not even people at that point.
I know in Queensland, because it was only, I don't know, maybe it was like 10, 15 years ago that they made having a brothel, you can have a brothel and it would be legal. But the owners of the brothel couldn't have been sex workers beforehand. And how ridiculous is that? I think they may have changed that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But you couldn't have had it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it might have had something to do with the fact that anyone who's doing it before.
Yes, Whiskey.
was illegal. Ivana!
Ivana!
Oh my God, I have such a crush on this lady. Oh,
so do I.
Oh.
So do I.
Can we have a poly relationship, just a big wifey circle?
Yes.
Cool. We're gonna turn the show off. We'll talk about everything else later. We've all got to go right now.
No, we're not. Stay. One thing that we've kind of touched on it throughout the show, but what are your thoughts, Moisty, on someone who has found that their boundaries have been overstepped and now they want to reset their boundaries or reclaim a boundary that they feel has gone over? Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to reclaim that new boundary for themselves?
I think as women and as non-men, we already have a really strange relationship with consent and boundaries because it's a relatively
high alert.
Yeah. I think it's important to acknowledge that consent and boundaries can be reclaimed, taken back at any time. Consenting once doesn't mean you're going to consent again. Yeah. You're allowed to set those boundaries. And my advice is just be you're allowed to. You don't listen to what anyone else says. You're allowed to set those boundaries. You're allowed to change them. You're allowed to navigate them. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to feel what you feel and your feelings are valid.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And if your partner or whoever you are engaged with doesn't accept them, then yeet them into the sun. That's it. If they don't understand that you are allowed to change and navigate and have that conversation with them and they're not allowing you that space to do that, then fuck them off into the dump.
Well, they don't get to say what your narrative is. No one ever gets to do that. If you care about someone, you give them the floor to say how it is.
Love is not instant consent. And a relationship is not instant consent. And we have to remember that it was only the 1980s that they overruled the marital rape laws in Australia. So this
That's right.
in my lifetime. That's in a lot of people's lifetimes. That's relatively new. That like love and a relationship don't automatically equal consent sexually.
Yeah.
And emotionally as well. Like you're allowed to have emotional boundaries with someone you're in a relationship with. You're allowed to tell your partner, and if your partner is a cis white man, go to therapy. I cannot tell you the amount of times that like men feel like their partner is just a therapist.
Yeah.
With a fleshlight attached. You know, like you're allowed to have those. You're allowed to have those boundaries as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're allowed to also.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, DJ Honey, that is really scary.
Oh my god!
Did
it? DJ Honey, did anyone? Were there petitions or anything for that? Like, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
This is the thing. This is still common.
Yeah, and we also take for granted that we live in a quite a liberal state.
Absolutely. I feel so privileged complaining about this sometimes, like, you know, but none of this is okay. But to see that these are the things that I want for the future of people around me, and then there's places around the world that we're still so far behind, like.
And that's about making your feminism intersectional, acknowledging that our struggles are valid, but other people's struggles are valid as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not a hierarchy of struggles. Ours don't override anyone else's.
Absolutely.
Fight the rights of all women, all people of genders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be there and show up and acknowledge that they are different.
Definitely.
Totally.
Definitely. I think on that note, I think it's almost time for us to wrap up our time. Two feminist organisations lobbied for decades. Oh, that's brilliant. If you get a chance, can you DM us or put in the comments here those feminist organisations, because it would be really lovely to share them and for people to find out.
I'm going to have a little googly googs.
Yeah, that's what we basically do all week. Once we pick a topic, we're like, what's going on?
Hey, if anyone else has stuff that they want us to chat about, or if there's any articles that you think are interesting, please like PM us, and we'd love to hear from you all and see what you all have to say as well.
Absolutely. Well, Moisty, it's been so lovely talking to you.
Lovely to talk to you guys too.
We would definitely love to have you back again and again. It's so
anytime we want. Anytime we want.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm full of opinions and silicone.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I guess
we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Or we'll see
I'll be watching your feed.
And everyone go and follow Miss Moisty on Instagram. All right. See you later. Bye, Miss Moisty.
Sorry, I just had an alarm to tell us when we need to wrap up, and we're on time, my friends.
Yay, high five.
Yes.
Will be the first time ever. And if you would like to tip us for this as a reward, we would absolutely love it. Yeah, in here.
Yeah. Gemma, hello.
Hi, we're still on for a few more minutes. So if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask us, now is the time. We would love to hear from you. But also, we are also happy to answer questions during the week. So if you ever have any questions, we can just DM us and we will either put them on the show, or we might even just do a little answer.
Yeah.
Aware Singapore. So that's
awesome.
one of the groups. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
So I guess so we will be on our Instagram live next Friday next Friday at 6
for a chat.
And then the following Friday we will be here again.
On the 12th of June.
Yes.
And the topic is Who is they?
Mm-hmm.
Should we say that together?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Who is they?
So we're talking about identity and feminism, which is a pretty meaty topic. So if you have any questions or you have any stories, please do sound
Contact
off and
us.
talk. Yes, email us. You can either email us, you can send us DMs, or you can just comment on any of our pictures, and we will with nice things.
Or any of our videos. No, everyone that's watching is pretty
You're all
lovely.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We can all see you, just so you know.
Yeah. We know everyone who's watching. Right? So thank you so much for coming and joining us in the show. We will see you next Friday on Instagram, and then the following week we'll be here on either YouTube or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and one last, if you feel like tipping us, tip. Do you know how hard it is for me to do pasties? Because my tits are so big. I have to really
that's hot.
So there you go.
And we're gonna go off the air.
We're gonna go off the air. So we'll see you.
DJ honey, thank you so much
DJ.
for coming every
Thank
week.
you.
We really appreciate it. We love you so much.
And
Thank you so much, Moisty, as well.
Yes.
And thank you everyone for coming.
And Angelique Joy for allowing us to share that beautiful video today.
And we'll share that piece on the Instagrams as well, so you can have another look ski. Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Yeah.
Oh.
We're live again, babe.